Hi, this is Mary from Reviewer's Diary, and I had promised you guys a look at my Stalogy collection. My little helper here is Scooter. Hello, Scooter. Scooter. My little dog. Anyway, I cannot find my ruler, and so we'll be using my husband's measuring tool to measure things. These come to you in centimeters, and I just can't, having grown up without the metric system, I can't relate to those numbers. So most of the people in the United States can't relate to those. However, I will look these up and put the measurements in centimeters and all underneath here in the description. So I have all four sizes, which is purely accidental. I started out with the B6, which I love, and I'm going to do a very short semi-flip through. There's a lot of private information in there, so there'll be pages I will not cover. And then I ended up with the A6 because I wanted to have something I could just shove in my purse. And I have also purchased a calendar. I'm going to go over that shortly. And I have an A5. Now this is a plastic cover that I did purchase online. It's from Hobonichi or one of those companies, but I'll put all the information to purchase these items down below. So anyway, this is an A5. And I wanted to use this as a journal, but I haven't started using that yet. I haven't decided what kind of journal, whether it's going to be a faith journal or just a journal or gratitude, or I don't know. Haven't figured that out yet. And this is my reading journal. So I'm going to start first with this one, which is a B5. It's not easy to operate one of these things with one hand. But anyway, it's a little over 10 inches in length, and whoa, let's see, and it is just a little over 7 inches in width, so it's almost as big as an 8.5 by 11 standard sheet. I'm going to go over this quickly. I did have a little bit of a reveal already in my video about this book and my challenges that I've taken. But anyway, these are from Cocoa Daisy, and they're free downloadable printables, but I did credit Cocoa Daisy for this because I also use this. I put the B5 there because I just figured I'll never remember, because I didn't order this. I ordered an A6, and then I had to order an A6 again all over again because they sent me the wrong size. And I decided that rather than send it back, I would just see if I could find a way to use it, and I have done that. So I have an index, and you know, let me pull in just a little bit further. So I have an index already, and it's a look into the past. Challenges that I've decided to take on, a books read shelf, and Goodreads progress. I may add more to this as time goes on, and of course I left a blank page, and this is the look into the past, and this has my Goodreads numbers, books that I put in there. For a little while I had 2 jobs, so I didn't have really a lot of time to read without falling sound asleep. Then one of the challenges is a 2021 TBR Knockout Challenge by Completely Melanie. And it's 2 books per month with themes. And this one is 2021 Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, created by Chantel at Intentional Life. I know I said international, so I have to make a correction there. It's intentional. And this is 12 months and 12 books. This is a bookshelf that I plan to draw books as I read them on here, because I do want the titles to show. Let me back up a little bit. There we go. I do want the titles to show on here, and I also have a key down here. I'm probably going to use colored pencils to color them in. I was thinking I might make one color nonfiction, one color fantasy, one, you know, like YA, because I do read young adult, and, you know, of course, adult, you know, mysteries and suspense and stuff like that. So that's how I plan to use this color key, but I haven't just decided yet what medium I'm going to use to color these books in. So that way I can fit the titles. And this is my Goodreads goal is 40. I think I will, you know, until the 1st, which this will be published on the 1st, maybe? No, actually, it'll be after the 1st, because I already have quite a few things that are going up this coming week. So this may not be until closer to the end of the first week of the year, which hopefully the year will be better. But the Goodreads reading goal, you can't really put in until the 1st, and then you can change it as many times as you want. Then I have a bunch of blank pages, so if I see any other really cool like book reading type things, I can add them. Or I can just make notes that are not like so much artsy-fartsy as, you know, my observations, favorite quotes, etc. This is going to be used for more than 1 year. It's 365 pages, and I will not fill 365 pages with reading. So this says 2021, and the swish just indicates that it goes on, and I'll put the last year that I use it there. So this book has to survive quite a bit, so I may end up having to make my own clear cover for this, because currently nobody sells one. I could measure the book and maybe send a note to Salty Katie, who I'll show you in a minute, designed and made my cover for my B6. See if she'll make me one for this. Okay, so that's the biggest one. The next one, I bought this because I loved this cover so much. And I was like, oh man, it's an A5. So I bought myself an A5, which is a nice size Stalogy. A lot of people prefer this. Notice that these all have a very pale grid on them. It makes it a little bit easier to write things, but yeah, I actually bought this because I bought the notebook. So I will probably use this as like some self-improvement project that I'll be doing this year. And the A5 measures, well, let's measure the actual book. The A5 measures a little over 8 inches by just a hair under 6 inches. So yeah, it's actually a perfect size. It won't fit in your purse unless you carry a tote bag around, but it's definitely a good size for writing in. Now my favorite one is, of course, the B6. I will love the B6 forever. This I started using in August 2019. It's a B6 365. It's about 7 inches, 7¼ inches by 5¼ I guess. It's hard to tell once it starts to get bent around and it's in a cover and everything. So, of course, I have been really enjoying this. I did print this out at the end of 2019 when I started using this. I have the index. I should say it was August. So, and you can see I already have notes about everything. I use this kind of as a catch-all as well as a bullet journal. So anyway, I have future log, calendars, different things that happened, a gratitude page. I think I have another gratitude page further in, and then I have COVID-19 lockdown on page 120. So yeah, and unfortunate events on page 136. So for each month, My future log I don't really use, so I should just take it out. This was for the first month, and that was August. And every month I put in a new one of these sheets here. I skipped September, but here's October. You can see a lot of doctor's appointments. This was self-care goals. Like this is the way I use this. I'm not trying to do an art journal. I'm trying to get control of my life. Okay, so you can see that I did September in review and my healthy habits and different things that I had to do. And then there's another month. Let's see. I use a lot of washi tape because it makes me happy. So anyway, then there is November. Let's see, page 120 was where I noted the lockdown. Let's see. You know, you can use these any way you want to. You don't have to turn it into an art journal. You don't have to, like here, for example, are notes for thyroid labs that need to be done. And then I put down COVID-19, state lockdown. None of us are sick. So that was a lucky thing. So anyway, then we come through, another, you know, the year is over, and I am doing a program called Sleepio, and so I have to do a sleep diary, which I did online, so I didn't really have to draw these. And then called my company, the Apria, to find out where the heck my new CPAP is, because the one I have currently doesn't work. And I started another gratitude page. I don't think I put it in the index yet, but I did put something down for the 20th of December. This life kind of went out of control with the holidays, so then there is this little size, which I highly advocate. Now, this has a wrinkle in it, but I'm going to probably run a hot hair dryer over it to see if I can stretch that out. This little A6 is hard to even hold on to. Hold on. Okay, so this is 6 by 4 1/4 across. I purchased this, which is from like Hobonichi, or I'll put out all the links for everything down below, because it fits so nicely in here, and it's a calendar that is blank, so you can fill out the months. As you can see, I started using this, I believe it was September. Let's see. It might have been October, because I had surgery in September. October. So anyway, I put all the appointments that we have in this, occasionally a little sticker, because honestly, stickers make me happy. Okay, so I continuously use this. I actually have in here other notes, like random thoughts. When I was stuck in the wheelchair, I had no flat surface to write on, so I was just writing notes about things. This is a project that I'm in on Instagram, and you know that I use this for all kinds of stuff. I have a page where I ask the doctor when I can walk around, when I can start doing yoga again, and all that kind of stuff. Now I am healed and I apparently can do everything, but back then I didn't know. So the only way to always remember what you're going to ask your doctor, and I advise everyone to do this, is write a list of your questions, because they go out of your head when you get to the doctor's office. So I actively use these two, the A6 and the B6. And this B5 I'll be using every time I finish a book. I'll be putting something in there. And this I haven't decided yet. So I'll let you know when I decide what I'm going to put in the A5. But yeah, I have to say that I love the paper quality. There's not a lot of bleed through. If you're one of those people who wants it to be an art journal, you should buy a heavier stock paper, because I don't know how it would be with watercolors. but I don't use these as art journals. I use them as me journals. So, you know, you can always, if you really have the hankering to do watercolors and draw caricatures and animals, you can always just get a sketchbook, which is what I use when I draw. You know, get a sketchbook and start using it. If you buy a mixed medium notebook, you'll be able to use whatever medium that you want in that notebook. So these are not practical, but I just can't let my cat get near these. That's all. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about all these Stalogies that I have. I really love, as a company, I really love this type of paper and this type of notebook. The bindings are sewn and glued, so they're double sealed bindings, and I've never had a binding come apart on me, and they can hold like a tremendous amount. Like here is my bullet journal. So, you know, they can hold a lot and not split apart like some of your inferiorly bound notebooks. Like some don't have a stitched binding and just glue, and that can come apart over time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Mary with Reviewer's Diary, and I really love these notebooks. I will include all the information for where I got everything down below, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to watch my video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That actually does help me quite a bit. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I would love to have you as one of my subscribers. And thank you for those who are not subscribers for stopping in and watching my video. Thanks, and have a beautiful evening. Good night.